Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you doing? Today is Saturday, and I'm again here with a different training. This training is all about knowing numbers. I'm fond of numbers because I firmly believe that numbers are something which tells you exact figures and tells you where you are actually. And most of the people are very scared of numbers. So this particular training is all about knowing your numbers. And if you are seeing me live or you are seeing me in my Facebook group, you can just comment on live or recording, whatever way you are watching me live. And I would look forward to somebody coming voluntarily up here and share their numbers. That will give you more clarity about how things will happen and how things are shaping up for your business. So welcome once again, everyone. Alok here, and this training is all about a short training with the simplest possible format of understanding what your number should be and how you should be handling those numbers, understanding those numbers to get those numbers actually. So I always say if you're in a business has to be tracked, monitored, and it is also said that if you can track something, you can control something, you can improve on something. And how this tracking are taking place because you are tracking the numbers, right? So numbers always do good and they tell you the truth. Actually, numbers don't lie. This is what I have learned from my experience and from other people. Numbers never lie if they are understood in the best possible manner, and they give you an actual reflection of what you are doing and what you should be doing, where you need to do some corrective actions and where you need to put focus on, where you are lagging, where you are improving. All these things can be tracked only when you have some numbers with you, right? So okay, I'll be waiting for some 1-2 minutes because I know there are a few people who are very interested to know all this, and this live training is about understanding few of the concepts, and post the training I also do Q&A sessions based on whatever questions you have related to coaching, business, entrepreneurship, and other things as well. So if you are there, do comment because I'll not be able to see you inside my Facebook group, although it is streaming because my focus shifts from one place to another. But anyway, I would be I'll be looking forward for your live interaction here in the training so that I give you my best and you will be able to understand. Okay, so good. Uh, from wherever you are seeing me, that's okay. That doesn't matter. The thing which matters is how much you are learning from this kind of a training sessions and how much you are implementing on your own. That is the purpose, and that is what I bring on the table. So let us start. As I said, these are very small trainings. Every Saturday, I do these trainings at 11 a.m. IST for 15-20 minutes, max half an hour, and post that we do some Q&As if you are there. So this is what I'm going to do. And today I'm going to talk about numbers. So why numbers are important? Let's come back to the basics. Since the beginning of our, academic career or, any student, the format of understanding and evaluation is all about numbers, right? It's not only in the schools and colleges or universities, it's all there in the businesses as well. How are you going to understand whether you're growing, you are not growing? How are you going to take a stock of what things have done, gone right, what things have done or gone wrong? How are you going to monitor that? It should not be only the instinct. If you are in a business, you have to have a proper system to understand, monitor, improve, and grow, right? So I'm just trying to tell you that these numbers are the true reflections of what you're doing. And if you are not doing with numbers, that means it's just a hobby. Mind it, if you are doing a business, it has to be followed by some numbers which are getting tracked, getting improved, or, based on whatever requirement you have, some things you need to leave, something you need to focus on more, and all those things come together when it is a business. So if you are not into a business, you could do whatever, you cannot track, that's okay. But if you're on a business and if you're not tracking, that means you are not doing business in a proper way, right? So now let's get into the detailing of knowing your numbers, right? So let me share my screen. I'll just explain you what I have brought here. And this is going to give you actual numbers. And mind it, when I'm talking about numbers, this is about high ticket sales or a big value sales. This is not applicable to people who are selling stuff for 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, 5000 rupees kind of. This is applicable to people who are selling product at least mid ticket, which is 10,000, 20,000, or even lakhs. So depending upon that, this particular numbers, work, especially in high ticket coaching. Since I'm a high ticket coach and I teach organic marketing as well as high ticket sales, this is my prime focus to tell you that if you keep a track of all these numbers, you'll be able to make a right decision and you'll be able to focus where you are lagging and where you should be working more to get these numbers, right? So all set, all ready. So let me now tell you that it starts from your target numbers. What numbers you are willing to achieve. Let's say your target revenue is 1 lakh or 1 crore. Doesn't matter. How are you going to achieve that? Correct. So here what I have taken a some rough figures to just demonstrate and illustrate how these things would work. So what I have written here is, what's your target revenue? So this is a monthly target revenue I'm talking about, right? What's your monthly target revenue? So let's say you say that your monthly target revenue is 1 lakh. For the sake of simplicity, I've taken it. And I'm asking now next is, what's your product price? So if your product price is 20,000 rupees and you want to have a target revenue of 1 lakh rupees, how many sales you want to make? So you have to just divide this, and I put in the formula accordingly. 1 lakh divided by 20,000 rupees, right? So you have to do 5 sales, right? 5 sales, each of 20,000 will lead to your 1 lakh of target revenue, right? Now, how you're going to reach to this 5 sales? How are you going to do this 5 sales, right? So let's understand, since it is a high ticket call, a high ticket selling, nobody will pay you upfront, or very few people will be paying you upfront through some, funnels or some links directly without knowing you or what are you going to serve them with. So you have to bring people on the call, right? So how people will come in the call? Let's understand that. And I have assumed certain numbers. Again, these are practical numbers because 100% efficiency is nowhere. Even big machines work at an efficiency of around 80%, not more than that, right? So here also, there is something as per the data which I have collated and as per the experience which I have and the market trends, I have assumed some percentage of these numbers, which will give you a fair idea of how things would work, correct? So let's say now you want to do 5 sales. I don't know how much you are good at sales, but understanding the conversion ratio of sales. Conversion ratio of sales means people coming on the call and you are converting them into your paid clients. That is what is called the show up call to conversion ratio. People showing up the call and people getting closed, right? People becoming your paid clients. So that ratio is ideally 10%. Ideally 10%. That means I'm not saying that you will be only doing 10% of this ratio. The more you do, the more experience you have, you can increase these numbers. But this is what has been seen. Ideally, a 10% of for beginners and intermediate, unless until you become a pro, where your call to conversion ratio becomes 20%, 30%. Yes, I think ideally it doesn't go more than 40% or so, but yes, you can definitely improve on it. So when I say that call to conversion ratio is 10%, I mean to say that if there are 50 people, showing up the call, right? 50 people showing up on the call, 10% of 50 people is 5. So those 5 people will be your customers, right? Again, assume this is only on a conversion ratio of 10%. So out of 50, you are going to get 5 clients. So now go back, calculate it. You are willing to have 5 clients. To have these 5 clients, you need to have a one-on-one call with around 50 people. Making sense? Okay. Now, these 50 people, how are they gonna come? Not everybody is gonna show up even if they book the call. This is what the data says. Not 100% show up ratio is there anywhere. Correct? So there would be people who would be booking calls and people would be showing up. There would be people who would be booking calls but not showing up because of something or the other, some reasons or the other. Right? So in this scenario, I have assumed a show up ratio of 80%. That means if 100 people will book the call, only 80% will show up in the call. Right? So here the numbers are 50. We want 50 people to come on the call with us. Right? So to have 50 people on the call, we should be having how many number of calls booked. So again, with the ratio of 80%, which is call book to show up ratio, it becomes 62.5. Let's say 63. The formulas are, put in such a way that you get fractions. So we'll be having complete number. So let's say 63 people would be required to book the call in order to have 50 people show up on the call. Right? Simple. Now, how you are going to have this 62 people or 63 people booking the call? So you can have multiple resources to do this. Organically, inorganically, you can do paid ads, you can do organic conversations. Since I'm an organic coach, as of now, I'm teaching organic methods to do it. So I'm just talking about how you can book it organically. Although there are different ways, and these different ways depend upon the status or the stages of your business. I won't recommend anybody to go for the ads initially when they are a beginner, unless and until they become some familiarity, they create some familiarity with their audiences organically. So here I'm just talking about with organic means. So inorganic means what happens normally is you have to do conversations, right? So how many conversations you are going to do to get these numbers of calls booked? So again, with the experience and the data combined together, this ratio is 20%, right? So when the conversation to call books is 20%, that means you have to have around 312 or 313 people with whom you are conversating on a monthly basis. Mind you, these are all monthly numbers, right? So to have 63 calls booked, you need to have 312 or 13 conversations happening inside the month, right? In 1 month, you have to talk to this many people. Simple. Now you are not going to talk to 300 people or 300 plus people in a day, right? So what I have just broken it down is with an average, month, 30 days in a month we have. So if you divide this 312 conversations by 30, you have 10 or 11 conversations per day. As simple as that. Correct? So that is quite feasible. You can have 10 conversations or 12 conversations or 15 conversations per day. So overall, if you have, let's say, talking about 15 conversations per day, you have 450 conversations, right? Based on that, you can increase your numbers, right? Simple. And if you divide this again, like number of calls booked daily, since we told that you have to have 62 or 63 calls booked in a month, so divided by 30, it will become 2 calls per day, which is quite achievable and quite practical in business terms as well, right? So this is what you are gonna do. What I understand is, now let's have some numbers changed here. Let's say my target is, for example, 5 lakh rupees per month, right? And if I see that, okay, my average product price is 20,000 rupees. So how many sales I'm going to do? 25 sales. For that 25 sales, I have to have 250 people showing up in the call. And see, the number of calls booked daily is 10, which is, even if you get call books of 10 numbers per day, it is very difficult to manage. You cannot have 10 calls of around 40 minutes or 1 hour. So that means you need to understand where the numbers needs to be redesigned or redefined. So here the product price is 20,000 rupees. To have this 5 lakh of target revenue monthly, what I'll suggest is to increase this price to, let's say, 50,000. Let's just check it. So when you increase your product price to 50,000, again, you have to create that kind of a product and value for your audience to, understand that there is a value in it. So the numbers are now, again, practically feasible. Now you have 4 calls per day, correct? And if you want to have even lesser calls, let's make it 75,000 rupees. just to make you understand. So see here again, 2 calls per day. So depending upon how much target value you want to achieve every month, how many calls you can take practically and talk to people to make them understand and feel better working with you, you have to have some practical numbers here, right? So I'm talking about these practical numbers just to ensure that you are very clear on your numbers, correct? So when you calculate these numbers backwards in this direction, you are very much clear what are you doing, how are you doing is not being covered here. I'm just telling you to analyze. Just don't, dream of achieving some numbers. It has to be backed by some sequential work. So these are some sequential work. Now, again, as I said, there could be multiple levels and multiple stages of businesses where you would be, correct? From that businesses, what you have to do is you have to understand at what stage of business you are. Let's say you are a beginner and you don't want to invest in ads. So what you have to do? You have to have some organic conversations done, some events being done. If you are willing to invest some kind of money in paid ads, you can, do it that way as well. But again, it again depends upon the stage of your journey. So I hope it's clear. Now let's calculate one more number. Let's say I say that the target number is 1 crore, right? And out of this 1 crore, my product price is 1 lakh. And I said that this is applicable to, a high ticket only. I'm not going to teach you the low ticket methods. Yes, I definitely talk about the front end offers and different offers which you can create. But here, what I'm telling you is, if you are into high ticket sales and if you are willing to make good amount of money, you need to have an understanding of numbers prior to what you are doing. So here, see how simple it becomes. Let's say you have a target of 1 crore and your product price is 1 lakh rupees. So how many sales you have to make? 10 sales. To make this 10 sales, how many people you want to show up in the call? 100, right? So if you say 100 divided by 30, which is per day calling, which becomes around 3 or 4. Simple. And based on that, you can again check the numbers. So these numbers are very friendly to me. And if you understand these numbers, you'll be able to make your life easier by understanding where you need to focus. If your target price, your target revenue is, let's say, whatever value, let's say again, I come back to 2 lakh, right? And you have a product of 1 lakh rupees, correct? You need to have only 2 sales done, right? To do these 2 sales, you have to have 20 people coming on the call with you, which is around less than a number, 1 per day. You have to have 1 per day call, which you are going to take, and you can achieve these numbers simply. And again, the conversations and all those things go accordingly. So this is the beauty of these numbers. I have made, if you want, I can share this with you as well. And that makes these things very simple for you. That is how you are going to create numbers for yourself, as well as to understand how these numbers are going to play important role in your business, right? So, okay, we have Dibya here. Dibya, how are you doing? I was just talking about these numbers. If these numbers are clear to you, or if you have any doubt, please let me know. I can re-demonstrate it again, because we have just 20 minutes, done. As I said, these are very short and crisp training. I don't want to take much time of yours, but I want to give this kind of a learning so that you are very clear on what you are doing and how you should be doing it, right? Okay, so any questions? Okay. Good to see you, Dibya. Did you understand what I was covering? Do you have any questions to ask?
No, I don't have any questions to ask. Actually, I just joined, so
Okay.
I don't know what exactly you're talking about.
So I was talking about how you should be understanding your numbers, business numbers. Let's say you are a coach. I know you are a coach, and you definitely should be working with a number, a target number, how much monthly revenue you want to achieve, correct? So Welcome, Ruchita. You can switch your videos as well, Divya and Ruchita. So I was talking about that if you are into a business, you should be having one number in your mind that how much money you are going to make, whether it is monthly or annually. Every company does that targeting. Every company have the prediction of how they are growing ahead in their business, right? So you should be very clear about your numbers. If numbers are not clear, you will not be, understanding which way to go. Correct? So understanding numbers. Let's say I give you a small example. If you have to go from, let's say, Delhi to Mumbai, always give this example. You have to go from Delhi to Mumbai. What do? You choose one of the means of transportation, whether you take a flight, whether you take a train, or whether you take a road journey, you go by your car. These are the three modes of transportation available. So you calculate what time. Let's say there is a function tomorrow and you want to reach there in time. So maybe if you take a flight, because the flight takes only 2 hours to reach from Delhi to Mumbai, and your entire journey time would be, let's say, 5 hours, right, from moving from your house to reaching that place. You calculate backwards, right? That this time, let's say your flight is 4 o'clock, you move out of the house from at 12 o'clock, let's say 2 hours you take time, including the traffic, right? You reach your airport, you get into the security and everything, because they also want you to come 1.5 hours or 2 hours prior to the boarding time, correct? So you calculate backwards, and then you reach there in time, you take the flight, you reach your destination. Here also, when you are in a business, you need to understand at what stage of business you are and which way you are going to do this. So if the numbers are clear, you will be able to understand where you are lagging. So I'll again repeat this sheet. I don't know whether Divya and Ruchita have seen this, but let me just repeat it once again to make sure that you people are there. So this is an Excel sheet which I have prepared just to demonstrate. Let's say your target monthly revenue is 2 lakh rupees, correct? Now, to achieve this 2 lakh rupees, we need to understand what is the product price which we are selling, correct? Let's say if I have a product and that is priced at 1 lakh of rupees, so how many sales I would be needing? Only 2 sales, right? We divide 2 lakhs by 1 lakh. So we need only 2 sales happening and we achieve our target, correct? Now, to achieve these 2 sales, how we are going to do? As I said, this is only applicable for high ticket products and high ticket services, because these things won't work if you are going to sell something for 500 bucks or 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees, because the strength and the energy which is required for this is not going to give you worth with the low ticket programs, low ticket sales, right? So I'm giving you an example. To have these 2 sales done, you have to have 20 Zoom calls or video calls, if it is not in person, like this, to convert with an assumption of 10% of conversion ratio. Mind it, not everybody is going to pay you or convert as your paid clients from whatever number of people you are showing up or going on call with, right? So this is a practical number for a beginner. They can start with 10%. You can, have this number increase over a period of time with your experience, right? So if the conversion ratio is 10% and you want to have 2 sales, you need to go on a call with 20 people. Is it okay? Out of 20, conversion ratio of 10, you get 2 paid customers. Make sense? Ruchita, Divya, making sense? Okay, good. Now, I'll tell you again, to get this 20 people on the call, how many people needs to book a call with you? Because again, practically, not everybody will come on the call even if they book the call. This is what the data says. This is what my experience also talks about, right? So assuming a show up ratio, we call it show up ratio of 80%. Let's say 100 people book the call, only 80 people will show up on the call. 20 people will not show up on the call because of something or the other, right? So here, if we want 20 people on the call, we should be having 25 calls booked. So 25 into 80%, that becomes 20. So if 25 people book the call, 20 people show up in the call, and out of 20, convert those 10%, which becomes 2, and you meet your target, right? Now, how you are going to have these 25 calls booked, correct? So to have these 25 calls booked, organically, you have to talk to people. You have to build your audience and make them excited, right? So that they understand what you are doing and they understand the power of coming on a call with you to explore whether you are a right fit for them or not. So to do this organically, what we do is we converse, we do conversations, we do chats, right? So how many chats you have to do? Again, the conversion to call book ratio is 20% ideally. So you have to talk to 125 people. So 125 people, you are not going to talk in one day. You have to talk for the entire month. In 1 month, you are going to talk 125 people. So divided by 30, so it's around 4 or 5. So you can easily converse with 4 or 5 people in a day with a good sense of, value you are going to give to the people. And they, after talking to you, they book the call, right? And similarly, if you see the number of calls booked required is less than 1, because here your target number is 2 lakh and your product price is 1 lakh. So you have to have only less than 1 call per day actually, or 1 call per day. That's it. So out of 30 days, even if you do 20 calls per day, you achieve your targets. Is it making sense? Is it clear? Now I'll just tweak the numbers. Let me take this 2 lakh. Let me make it 5 lakh. This will give you a better idea. Now here, if your target revenue is 5 lakhs and your product price is 1 lakh, you have to have 5 sales. You need to do 5 sales, right? To do this 5 sales, you have to have 50 calls, people showing up on the call. To have this 50 calls, you need to have 62 or 63 people booking the call. To do this, you have to have around 320, 312, conversations done, which is around 10. 10 talks, 10 conversations every day, which is quite possible. And for showing up the call or the calls which you are going to take, which is 2 calls per day, which is okay. 2 calls per day, that means maximum 2 hours. So by giving 2 hours per day, you can achieve this target of 5 lakhs if your product price is 1 lakh. This is how these numbers work. Making sense? Good. So that is it. It's very simple. I wanted to make it simpler for you, and that is my USP. I always create simplicity for you to do business. Don't want to complicate anything. The only thing is you need to understand from that perspective of doing a business. If you don't have numbers or you are not tracking numbers, that means you are not into a business. It's just a hobby. Business always need to have some numbers behind it so then you can track your progress. And in all, I always say in business, either you are growing or degrowing. You cannot say that it's okay, okay. What does okay, okay means in business? Nothing. You cannot be okay, okay in business. Either you are growing or you are degrowing. And that can only be, understood and make, visualize once you see the numbers. Like what were the numbers last month? What did you do last month? And where were you lagging? Where were you doing good? Should I make it better by doing the good things more? Or should I leave the things which were taking more time, were not productive? So those things can only be understood when you track your numbers, right? And that is what these numbers talk about. Hope it was helpful to all of you. Anything, Ruchita, you want to say about this short training? You can unmute and you can, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ruchita.
it was informative. Like I understood the concepts, but how do I approach people? I have doubts regarding that.
Correct.
Okay.
So to do this, I didn't cover the how part of it. It was just about the numbers. Now the training part is over. I assume now I'll be taking your questions, and this question is about how do you approach. Correct.
Exactly.
Now understand this internet world or the social media world is again crowded. Everybody is there to sell something or the other, trying to do something or the other. Now people also understand because people on the other side or the screen are people like me and you, right? They also understand what you are doing. So you have to build relationship with them. You don't have to sell them, and nobody will buy from you unless and until they trust you. That's a fact, correct? So what you have to do is on the social media, you have to have conversations where you are helping people, building relationship first, number one, helping people to achieve what they want with little of your expertise. You cannot give everything for free, but yes, you definitely need to go with a mindset to help those people. Once they feel the value of your free stuff, they'll be building more trust in you, right? And when they build more trust in you, they'll be openly talking to you about their challenges even more. At that point, you can say, okay, I can help you, but this is not not gonna happen in, let's say, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You need to have a relatable time frame to understand and make it happen. Like this, I told you, you have to start building relationship. You have to start doing conversations. Now, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's difficult, but you need to keep on practicing to make relationship over internet, through chats, or whatever means you want to do. Theoretically, everything is open. Information is there on the internet. But when you start doing it, you understand practically where you are going wrong, where you're going right. There you need to have a mentor or a coach or a friend who can guide you to do things in the correct way. Otherwise, people keep on experimenting for years and they don't reach anywhere. That is where the role of a guide comes. Correct? So information, you go and search Google or any search engine or AI tools. There are a lot of tools available as of now. You go and ask a question. They'll give you an answer. That's right. They'll give you an answer based on the data which is there on the internet. But how are you going to implement it? And even if you are implementing, how good or bad it is in terms of implementation, who is going to guide you? Otherwise, there is everything available in video formats in YouTube. You go and ask, you will find a video talking about this particular subject, right? But there is no accountability, there is no handholding, nobody is going to talk about, right? So that implementation part is the key towards success, right? Whether it is organic, inorganic, whatever method you are doing, everything zeroes down to the efficiency of your working. As simple as that. Is it okay?
Yes.
Now, ask this question to yourself, like why somebody will talk to you. You want to talk to them, yes, because you have something in your mind, you can help them as well, that's okay. But why that person will talk to you? Do you have something different, or are you creating some kind of an aura on this virtual world so that people start talking to you? Are you giving any reason for them to talk to you? Right? Think from that perspective, because now everybody is equal on internet, right? And everybody is literally uh looking forward to get more and more attention. Everybody is doing the same thing. So what are you going to do to get that? Number one. And how are you attracting audience? Right? So again, come from that a holistic approach of helping people. Number one, don't I always tell my people, whoever are my paid people, I always tell them that never have an intention to sell something, because when you go with intention to sell something, now people smell that very early, and then they even will not talk to you. But if you go with an intention to serve or will help, then only people will open up with you, and then they'll start talking to you. And then there would be a point when you literally share your heart for them to grow. They'll definitely understand the value of your support, and they'll say, okay, now I'm okay, because they have felt it. They'll say, okay, now I need your help. Now tell me what's your price or how you're going to take it ahead that way. So this kind of a reputation or perception you have to build virtually by doing some activities. Now that comes into the entire how part of it, the entire process. It's not a one-day job. It's not a one-day job where you go and you get somebody as a paid clients. It doesn't happen that way. Because here we don't have any physical product. It's all services. And to sell a service, you have to have that kind of a trust built initially over a period of time, because trust is something which cannot build in a minute or in a one call or something. So you have to keep in touch with those people and keep seeing what they want, what value you can provide to them. And based on that, they slowly start building trust in you. Right? And that is how it happens. Okay, welcome, Mitu. I think you're traveling somewhere. Up, mute up.
Yes, I have one meeting actually, so that's what I'm going. So from the, I thought why to miss your call is very important. So I thought let me join from while traveling. Yes.
That's so nice of you, so sweet of you as well. Today I talked about the numbers. I don't know whether you saw it or not. Although it the group, I was talking about business numbers, that you need to understand your numbers in hand upfront to understand how things will shape up, right? Like today, you are going to one place for a meeting, you know how much time it will take, what is the time of the meeting, you know, what is the journey time. So you calculate backwards, right? And then you plan and you move out of your house saying that, okay, this much is my 15 or 20 minutes is my traveling time. And let's say I have to reach there by 12 o'clock. So if I move by 11:15, I'll be reaching there. Am I right? This is how we do. So in business also, we have to have those numbers in place to understand what is our target number and how we're going to achieve it. If you've not seen it, I'll just repeat it once because we have time, if you're okay with it, right? Because I have just explained Ruchita and Dibya. I'll just explain it to you in a very crisp way. And that is how I'm going to do. Give me a second. Yeah. So this was a sheet which I made to explain how things would work. So let's say your target revenue, monthly revenue I'm talking about is 5 lakh rupees, right? And this applies to only high ticket sales because low ticket sales will, you know, not have this kind of numbers. There is a different kind of a calculations for that. So let's talk about if you want to have 5 lakhs of revenue generated 1 month and your product price is 1 lakh, correct? So if your product price is 1 lakh, you have to do 5 sales, right? 5 lakh divided by 1 lakh. You need to have only 5 sales. How are you going to reach this to this 5 sales? Because in high ticket sales, nobody's gonna buy things just by, you know, seeing you on an ad or something. You need to go on a call with them, a virtual call, right? So you have to have people on calls with you. Assuming a conversion ratio of 10%, this is ideally for beginners and intermediary people, where if you have 50 people on the call, you convert 10% of that, which is 5, and you reach your targets, right? Now, how you're going to have 50 people on the call? So to have 50 people on the call, you need to have 62 calls with a conversion ratio of 80%, because not everybody who is booking the call will show up on the call, correct? Out of that, somebody would have something or some reasons not to join the call. So let's say you have 63 people or 62 people book the call, then only 50 people will show up on the call. Out of 50, you can convert 5 of them, right? Now, to do this calls of this number, 62 people booking the call, you have to do call bookings. How are you going to do call bookings? So organically, you can do through chats or some events, and inorganically, you can do through ads or some funnels. There are multiple ways to do it. I teach organic first and then I move on to inorganic. So here, I understand that people who are beginners and intermediates, they should be primarily doing organic ways of call booking. So I have mentioned that you have to do conversations. So how many conversations you are going to do? Again, with a conversion ratio of 20%, you have to do 312 in a month so that you book 62 calls, right? So if you divide this by 30, which is an average of around 10 or 11 conversations you can do in the entire day. So this is achievable, right? And if you see the number of calls for which you are going to do, if I take this 50 calls and you have 30 days of time, or even if you are working for 25 days, you have to have only 2 calls per day, which is quite achievable and practical for you also to get things done. Make sense? So these are the numbers. So if you have these numbers clear, then we'll have to choke out a plan how to get these numbers. So now understand the numbers. Now, how you going to get the numbers? Again, that is another part of the coaching where I tell you how you're going to do this kind of a conversations, how you're going to have these kinds of a call books, how you're going to have all these kind of a sales conversions done once somebody is on the call, right? So that is not the topic of the day. The topic of the day was only to understand the numbers. And if you are in a business, you have to have your numbers in front of your eyes so that you can track it, right? Where you are going wrong, where you are missing on this something, and where you need some improvement. Because the father of marketing, which is Peter Drucker, you might have heard of the name. He talks about anything which can be measured can be improved, correct? So if you cannot measure, you cannot improve on it, correct? And if you can measure, you can see whether to improve on what numbers. That's it. Simple. How was it, Mitu? Nice. You can unmute. Abhi bhi aap mute. ho sakte.
That is a very valid point actually you said, sir, because if in front of us, if we have that numbers, so we can, that work out in that way, we can just break it into like how we say that we cut the elephant into
Correct.
pieces and then you grab it. So the same way, if we have the bigger number in front of us, so we can, the plan, we can chalk out how we can go ahead with this. So at least if we try our best and 100, whatever with that, how you're telling and how you're saying, and if you follow that process, at least if it's not 100% also, but 20, 30%, whatever, we'll be at least going every month, we'll be going closer to our goal and,
Correct. Exactly.
yes,
Exactly. Yes. Ideally speaking, we should be achieving our numbers every month, but that's okay.
yes,
Even if you are in a progressive way, we are reaching some numbers, and then later on we can achieve our numbers. And that is how we are
right.
going to track that. Yes, that's so nice. Good. Any questions? Any questions?
I'm also. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any questions, Ritisha, you have?
Not regarding this, but I have questions regarding how to approach people. I don't think so. It would be covered today.
No, I can answer your questions. Yes, that is not going to be covered today. Actually, what I do is the trainings are, see, I have repeated this training, 3 times in 40 minutes time, which is hardly 12, 13 minutes. So I make very small trainings so that you understand the concept well. And then I definitely answer your question. So your question is how you are going to approach people. How are you doing right now? Tell me.
Actually, I used to text, like when I used to post content, and if they are liking my content, I used to talk to them.
Okay.
Then I never got positive response. So
So
I
there
just
is something wrong in terms of how you are talking. It's not about what you are talking. Again, what and how needs to be corrected in terms of conversations. As I said, even the audience which is behind the scene, they are also people like us. Now we know that if somebody is talking, they might be having something in their minds. So we should not be salesy. We should not be, literally pitching anything. So that is why I said the approach towards talking to somebody should be making or building relationship, number one, and helping them what they are looking for, number one. Correct? So whatever way you are talking, that means the way is little bit wrong. That is why people are not responding to you. So you need to learn the art of talking. It's very simple to say that, yeah, we all are grown people, we know how to talk. It's not that case. Here we are talking business. And within the business, we are talking about building a good relationship with somebody unknown. Now, why somebody unknown will talk to you? You understand? Let's say I'm an unknown person, and if I start talking to you, I approach you to talk. Why would you talk to me? Same way, think for the person whom you have approached. Are you giving some reasons for them to talk to you? I told you this, right? And how we are going to build relationship? I'll give you one tip today, which I have learned by paying a lot of money. I'll tell you. People are interested in them. Simple. Don't talk about yourself, talk about them. Talk about them. Mind it. This is a golden rule of talking or conversation. You should be always focusing about people who are on the other side, because everybody loves talking about them. Right? Or if you are talking about yourself, not about them, they are not interested. And by default, we do this mistake. We start talking about, say, hey, I can help you do this, I am this, I'm doing this, right? This is what we normally do without understanding that they are not interested in what we are. They are interested in how they can be benefited. So you have to talk what they are looking for, right? So talk about them, research about them. Before talking to them, Ruchita, go to their profile, see what they are doing, take out something from there, and then create a thread. Talk about them, what they have been doing, right? So they'll be interested to talk to you. Try this. You'll definitely have an aha moment, because this is what I have learned after so many, years, actually, I would say. Because even I was that kind of a person who used to think like, okay, it's just about talking now. I can talk. People don't respond if you do this. People will only respond to you when they will be the prime focus of the conversation. When you talk about them. Make sense?
sure.
Change a little bit. Whatever you have been doing, it was not working. Fair. Now change the way you have been talking. You will see the difference.
Okay.
I answered your question?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there would be multiple people. There are multiple people behind the scene who talk in different way because every individual is different. Maybe the same formula would not work for everyone. Mind it. This is also because this is very, dynamic in nature. Everybody is different. You have to understand what they are, how they are doing, what they are doing. Based on that, you have to inculcate the way of talking. Like, let's say, you don't talk to your teacher the way you talk to your friend, the way you talk to your spouse, the way you talk to your parents. We are communicating with them, right? But all the places we have a different style of communicating, right? Similarly, here, all these people are different. So we have to understand what sort of people they are, and we have to develop a way of talking to them based on what they are and how they are perceiving their work, their life, and the other things. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good.
Yes,
Nice.
sir. Actually, it was very informative. I understood something. Actually, yesterday night I thought I'm not gonna do anything. I'm done. I'm gonna quit. But after talking to you, after listening, okay, I feel no, I should restart. To be very frank, I thought I'm gonna quit. Not anymore.
Quitting is never an option. Why to quit? We have multiple options, and people who are resilient in nature and people who are persistent, they only achieve success. You go in the history, see people who are achievers as on date. They also had this phase of struggle where people were not listening to them, and there are n number of there. I would not say n number of examples. I'll say everybody has gone through that challenge. Whoever is successful today, they have gone through that kind of a challenge in the initial phases of their life or their careers. So quitting is never an option. Never quit. Find ways to do it. If one way has not worked out, find another way. Find another way. And I always quote this, Thomas Alva Edison. He talked about 10,000 ways not to, create a incandescent bulb, right? Don't
Yes.
quit.
Sir, I have
Yeah. Yes, Muthu.
sir, I have a question. That like how we will differentiate when we are talking to any stranger. Suppose we came to know from the Facebook or whatever the reference, and that person is new to me. I am not very much because I don't know that person. So
Right.
when I am starting talking to that him or her,
Hmm.
so what should be my approach? How should I, whether I should straight away approaching him the professional way, or I should, be very friendly and personal way. So how will I differentiate so that, it should not go very personal and it should not go very professional that where he or she will resisting to talk to me. So what should be the way, sir?
Exactly. I'll tell you. Go to their profile, see what they have been doing. Latest post, latest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts. Number one. First of all, you start liking and commenting on that post, reasonable comments, and then take out something. Let's say everybody loves to be praised. It's a human psychology, right? हर किसी को अच्छा लगता है if you compliment them with something. Let's say you seen their photograph, the profile picture, or some content which they have done, whether it is a video, text, or something. You just talk about by appreciating them. Hey, I saw you. Let's say you are talking to me. You can text me a message. Hey, Alok, I saw you talking on one of your posts where you were talking about this particular element, and I really resonated with it. Thank you so much for sharing this information. Finish. Or if they have achieved something, let's say they are showing some achievement, some client results, some their results, or some trophy they have won, or they have traveled some place. You just resonate with them, create a context saying, hey, I saw you posting a picture of Kashmir where you travel with your family. I love hills, I love traveling, and I love snow. Last year I was also there with my family. It was really nice. How was your experience? Finish. You don't have to talk whether personal. You're not going to ask about what they eat, what they dressed up. But in between, there is a scope of talking to them, making relevant and contextual talk for which everybody will be happy talking about. You are not literally, you are not forcing them to think. You are just forcing them to enjoy and cherish. Everybody loves that. And that is the best way to start conversating. Right? हर किसी को अच्छा लगता है जब आप उनके बारे में ऐसे बात करते हो ना. And this is a very great thing which I learned over a period of time. मैं भी यही सोचता था यार कहाँ से शुरू करना है हमेशा दिमाग में रहता है यार कोई क्यों बात करेगा मेरे से. मैं हमेशा से क्वेश्चन पूछता था. Why somebody will talk to me? Why somebody will talk to me? But now here, Ruchita is there. Ruchita started talking to me. Why she talked to me? She is unknown to me. First time I am seeing here on this camera. We started talking. Now go to the chat, Ruchita, and see what I have done with you. You will have a clear-cut example of how you can do that. You can just replicate. So I'm not saying there is a rocket science behind it. It's all about understanding our human psychology. And we all are humans, and we are very skeptical nowadays because trust is something which is going down and down and down. Nobody wants to talk to somebody unknown and unfamiliar because of the trust issues. So you have to build that trust. So how you're going to build trust is these are the few ways, and these also keeps on evolving. There was a time when this thing started 3-4 years back. This chats and everything is long back, but pre-pandemic it started, or in the pandemic it was on boom. Now at that time when somebody was sending a text to somebody, people used to immediately respond to them. But slowly they found that later on it came out to be a salesy approach or something like that. So now people are very skeptical. So you have to change your approach towards not being salesy, not being hurting somebody's emotions or feelings, and talking them the right thing where they feel importance, they feel elevated in their minds and thoughts, and they start sharing their feelings. That is how you're going to start with. And again, this is skill. The more you do, the better it would be. थोड़ा थोड़ा करके हो जाता है. You'll definitely find certain words when you will be having chats 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. When you do that, you will be able to understand a pattern where you will feel, okay, this things is working for majority. I'm not saying 100%, that these things are working for the majority of the people. So you go with that. And that is the way to keep talking to people, because unless and until you talk, you won't build trust. We should not be assuming that just by posting something people will start believing in us. That's not going to happen. You have to have a personal conversation in audio format, video format, or text format, whatever format you want, but that conversation has to be done. Unless and until that trust is built, nobody is going to move forward. Nobody is going to actually share their challenges. See, are you going to share your problems with somebody who is unknown? No way. Nobody will talk like that. So people will only talk to people whom they have built trust, and they believe that this person is worthy. They can help me in some way or the other. As simple. It's simple human psychology. I'm not a professor of psychology, but by doing all this slowly and steadily, I can relate it to everything which is all human psychology. And all these ads which are being run on the television or anywhere, you see it all relates to something which triggers the human psychology. Everywhere it is the same philosophy. And it is all about the stories. Again, there are a lot of things I can talk about. I can keep on talking. But I hope I have answered your question, Mitu. Right?
Yes, sir.
You're going
Yes,
to do...
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so we don't, what I understood like that, our approach should be very like warm. It's not too friendly, it's not too professional. It's
Yes.
just a very warming kind of, so that the person will get that connection. The person will get that feel, yes, he's a person, and he's having some interest, whatever I'm doing, and she or he is appreciating my work, and somewhat he will have generate that respect and that trust. So the next it will then that is like actually channel. It will create a channel to further continue that talk, and maybe that whatever it is business or what, but it will align. It will align actually, sir. What I understood.
Exactly. आपको मैं एक हिंदी में एक कहावत है, प्रेमिका का
हाँ.
कुत्ता भी प्यारा लगता है ना? क्या है, आपको प्रेमिका तक पहुंचना है तो उसके कुत्ते को प्यार करो. Exactly. So this is what actually is the human psychology, that if you want to love somebody, love what they love.
Yes.
As simple. So same thing I told you, appreciate what they have done, congratulate on what they have achieved, relate to what they are doing. So that makes the best of the connection. And once the connection is made, then only you can start going further in your talks. If the connection is interrupted because of something or the other, either they have not understood what is your purpose of talking to them, or they have their other minds, thinking of something good or bad. You cannot see what's going in their minds. So the best way is to, as you said, being warm and talk about or appreciate, congratulate on what they are doing. That's the best way, right?
Thank you, sir. So this is very nice, I think, conversation, because we every Saturday, with your with live training, we will discuss very small topic, but this is somewhat, it's a very like that day you said the one day, I think that once we have food, उसमें नमक नहीं रहता है तो कैसा है ना, that will फीका हो जाता है वो food. So this is, your all the topic. It's just every week it works like a salt. So थोड़ा थोड़ा pinch डालते हैं और हम, we will just हम अपने आप को बहुत flourish और furnish कर सकते हैं सर. तो very very nice sir, very nice. Yes.
Thank you so much. So that's the purpose, I see a lot of people are stuck because of all these things not being known to them, and they're very skeptical again to invest money. उसका भी कारण है because there are a lot of coaches talking lot of things. वो आपके लिए relevant है कि नहीं आपको पता ही नहीं चलता है. You don't know whether it is going to be applicable to me or not. So people are very skeptical. So my purpose is to give you value so that you move ahead in your business. And there would be a time when you will think, okay, if I'm the right fit for you or not. But as of now, I don't come with an intent to sell anything, mind it. I only come with an intent to help you know something which can help you move ahead in your business. So if you start implementing all this, you'll see a change. And the moment you see a change, you'll remember me. Yes, there was somebody called Alok who gave me an advice and it is working. That means that person is worth. So I'm literally proving my worth by helping you do something which is definitely going to take you ahead in your business. So that is how I'm going to build trust. I'm building trust. Simple. I'm building trust without expecting anything out of you. So this is called selfless service. And in coaching business, you cannot have, every time sales in your head. You have to go with this mindset to serve people. As simple as that. I detach myself from selling. Whether it is a small training, whether it is an event, or whether it is a challenge, whatever I do, मैं कभी मतलब selling के purpose से जाता ही नहीं हूँ. मुझे ये लगता है कि if you find value in me, you will definitely come. I'm sure of that because of the value which I bring on the table. So that's it. Thank you so much. If you have any further questions, you can keep coming. See, Ruchita, Mithu is already there. She keeps coming on every Saturday. You can also keep coming every Saturday at 11 a.m. You can keep doing what things I told you. And you can again discuss with me on the call what happened, what did not work, what worked. And later on, I can answer all to your questions. I can guide you where to go, how to do it. Right? So
Sure.
this is a free event, nothing to worry. And you can go and check other trainings as well inside my group where I have talked about multiple different subjects which can help you. I told you that day as well. Right?
And I am very grateful to you, and I really appreciate that you dedicated your time for us and you made free for us. I'm really happy for that.
Thank you so much. That is what 1 hour Saturday I keep this for myself and people who are willing to come and ask and learn. I'm okay with it. So thank you so much, Mithu, and thank you so much, Ritvita. It was literally pleasure talking to you both, and I hope I have made the numbers clear and also I've answered all your questions. So again, see you next Saturday, 11 a.m. Sharp.
Yes sir.
Thank you.
Okay sir. Wish you happy weekend. Thank you sir.
Yeah,
Thank you
happy
very
weekend
much.
to you too, and all the best for your meeting as well. Right?
I'm already late, sir. Actually, so much of traffic you can't imagine here. But when I was supposed to reach the 11:30, it's already started, but I am the late. I'm late. I don't know how can I. I have to. That also have to work out, sir. Be on time.
Yeah,
That also have to work out.
चलिए कोई
Okay,
बात
sir.
नहीं.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, take care. Bye, Ruchita. Bye, Mithu. Take
Bye,
care.
bye, sir. Bye.
Bye.